That's a wrap on this week's Procrastination Garage. Hope you guys enjoyed. Hey besties, welcome back to Procrastination Garage. I'm your host, Ryan Lee, and this is my co-host, Matthew.
Hi, welcome back to Procrastination Garage.
It's a balmy 0 degrees on Saturday morning and getting ready to go meet up with my friend, and we're headed up to the Cold Creek Snow Park to set up camp for the chili ride tomorrow. And it's even colder up there. High temperature today is only supposed to be up around like -3, -4, something like that. And the project we've got to do today, which is basically break the trail into where we're doing the chili feed tomorrow, is probably going to be -5, -6 degrees while we're doing that. Fun times. Let's hit the road. Truck thermometer showing 2 degrees outside, and we're on our way. It's just me and my two friends, husband and wife, and that's probably all we're going to have up there today. We've got one other friend, maybe two, that thought about coming up and camping, but they'll be in a snowmobile trailer, and so I don't know. Hope to see them. I just hope we get some people come up tomorrow when we have the event. We'll muddle through today, okay? Anyway, temperature just dropped to -1 as I'm recording this. So we're up at Rimrock Lake level, going past the Titan airstrip. There's a cattle guard right at the beginning of the Titan airstrip, and it was about a 6-inch drop down to the cattle guard, and I knew it was there and had kind of forgot, and man, it bounced. Probably lifted the camper a foot up off the back of the truck. Just joking, it should be strapped down better than that. But that was not one of my smarter moves. But what was really funny was there was a Subaru parked right there. There's a gate, and there was a couple having sex in the Subaru. You could see legs up in the air. It was funny. So temperature is currently about -4 degrees, and road conditions, although it's rough, it is plowed, and the traction is real good because at 4 degrees you have really good traction. We're just a few miles from the snow park, and the road conditions have gotten worse. They reached a point where they quit plowing. This has been plowed, just not in the last day or two. My friend, he's driving a motorhome towing a big 3-place enclosed trailer, so it's definitely tougher for him than with my 4-wheel drive. But last time I looked, he was still behind me, and he's made it up the worst of the climb, so should be good. And my guess is the snow park itself will probably be in better shape than the road, because the snow park is plowed by a private contractor.
It was a cold morning, about 5 degrees below zero. It was about 9:30 by the time we finally left the snow park. One of our snowmobiling friends, Bert, he showed up to help us this morning. That's his Jeep. It was about 10:30 by the time we were fully set up and ready to serve. We weren't expecting guests until 11 o'clock. Our first guests arrived a little after 11, and we were serving food until about 1 o'clock. Due to the cold temperatures, or at least the perceived cold temperatures, we didn't get a lot of people show up, but those that came had a really good time. It actually turned out to be a really nice day. Temperatures were up around 10 degrees, and with the sun and no wind, it was really quite comfortable. Our last guest left around 1 o'clock, and by 2 o'clock we were completely packed up and ready to head for the trucks.
It's 5:30 and we're leaving the snow park, and let me tell you, you guys missed out on some action. I wish I'd had the forethought to video it, but I'm not sure what good it would have done anyway. But so we get back to snow park, I don't know, around 3 o'clock, and the plan is to pack up and hit the road to go home. And I decide early on that I should probably start my truck up and let it warm up. It won't start. It did not like the cold. Today's temperature was only about 5 degrees for the high, and overnight last night it was 10 below or thereabouts. So it's been cold for a while. So anyway, it would not start. So I plugged in my block heater to my friend's motorhome, which is what I'd been using for power all weekend. And we let it warm up for quite a while, and also put a little small heater underneath the hood near the fuel filter. And so we basically hung around his motorhome for about an hour and a half, and I really thought I was going to have to leave the truck up here tonight. Anyway, and I really believe that, and we went out there, and my friend, he's a real Ford fanatic, and he's like, oh, it'll start, and I'm like, yeah, it's not going to start. It did. It fired right up, thank God. So we thought we were home free at that point. So I'm packing up the inside of my camper, all excited, ready to go. All of a sudden he comes over and says, my motorhome won't start. He's got a V10 in a motorhome, and it just sounded like a dead battery. It just went clicky, clicky. So it turned out neither one of us had jumper cables. Not good planning on either one of our parts. So we ended up pulling the battery out of my camper, the one that I put in a few videos back, and it doesn't really fit under the hood of his van, the front end. So we had to remove the battery tray to get it to fit in there. Finally got it in there. Still went click, click, click. So then he's down underneath tapping on the starter, and the starter solenoid didn't do any good. Finally he shorted across the solenoid, and with me on the key, and it just barely started. So anyway, that's why we're leaving at 5:30 instead of probably an hour and a half ago. And we are both excited to get the heck out of here. And let me tell you, nobody else is up here on the mountain. It's just us back here in the snow park right now. And my thermometer says, in the truck here, says 4 degrees, and it's headed down below 0 again tonight. And the extended forecast for up here isn't going to get all that warm. So if my truck hadn't started tonight, we were going to come back up tomorrow, but I'm not really sure what we're going to do. So anyway, that's it. Headed home. So you're probably asking, how did the chili feed go today? We had great weather. Sun was out. Temperature came up to about 10 degrees up there, or maybe 15. It was really nice up there. Unfortunately, participation was lacking. Combination of two things. One, we changed the date. It was supposed to be yesterday, and because it's going to be so cold, we moved it one day. We lost some people for that. And just flat out, there are a lot of people that it was cold in town today too. It was down around 0, and people just didn't want to come up, never mind how nice it was up here. So it is what it is. But we had some people that showed up that were not club members, and it was fun to talk to them and everything. So will we do it again next year? Probably. This was year number 2. We'll try for year number 3.
Hey besties, just popping in. Since you've already watched this much of the video, you might as well like, comment, and subscribe, and tell your friends.
It's around 11 a.m. on a snowy Thursday, and we are headed to Sunnyside, Washington. And why are we headed to Sunnyside? Because I have a 25% off, no exclusions Harbor Freight coupon, and it expires today. And I'm interested in a side mount toolbox to put on the tool chest that I bought a while back, the rolling cart. And the only place they have them is in Sunnyside. So we're going down to check it out. So what are we driving today? Mom's van. Yeah, it made it to Sunnyside. There's Harbor Freight. Let's see what we can find. So we're sitting here in front of Burger King, and the trip down to Sunnyside was a bust. The toolbox, the side piece that I wanted, turned out to be way too big for the cart I've got. And I'm not sure they had it in stock, but it doesn't really matter. I saw one on display, it just wasn't gonna work. So I thought, well, okay, let's go a different route, and we'll just go ahead and get a rolling, we'll get the bottom of a rolling tool cart, and then we'll add the top to it later. It was $400, that would have knocked it down to $300. That would have been a pretty good deal. They didn't have a blue one in stock, and I need a blue one. So I'm just drowning my sorrows in Burger King, courtesy of my daughter, who gave me a Burger King gift card long ago, which I loaded on the app. So today I learned how to use the app. Anyway, we are headed back to the Yakima area, and well, we may stop at the Harbor Freight in Yakima, as a matter of fact. Maybe they'll have that box that I wanted down here. Maybe they'll have it there. Anyway, let's hit the road. And yes, it's snowing to beat the band out there. Made it back to Yakima. Let's try our Harbor Freight. Couple 3 cars in the ditch on the way home. Well, how about a partial success? I ordered the box. It probably won't be here for a month or 2, but at least I used my 25% off coupon. So we managed to spend $325 today and not take home anything. Maybe that's not a win. It'll be a win down the road. It's Friday morning around 8:30 a.m. We got about 6 inches of snow in the last 24 hours. I need to get the plow out and do some plowing. No, I don't. We're going snowmobiling instead. I guess I suck at this video thing. I guess we already knew that. So it is Saturday, about 4 o'clock, headed home. Today was day 2 of snowmobiling. Yesterday, I don't know if I said, went to Little Natchez, went out to the Government Meadows warming hut. It was a fun day, a little cold at times. A little bit of freezing rain came down too. Overall fun. Today we had a group of 8 and went up to the Little Bald warming hut. Rode around some other places. Nice family style ride, although the snow was deep and a few people did get stuck, but all in all a good day. On the way back to the snow park we came across a couple of riders, newer riders, and one of their sleds had caught fire and nearly burned to the ground. That was too bad. The young gal that was riding it was the first time she'd ever ridden a snowmobile, so hopefully that doesn't discourage her. I guess that's about it. Headed home. Tomorrow I got to get to work on some projects, and I've got a snow flyer I got to get done. So I'm not sure when this Procrastination Garage is going to get done. But you'll see it when you see it, or you'll click to move on to the next video, whatever. It's Monday morning, about 9 o'clock, and let me tell you, it's crunch time. Still working on the tag-along trailer that belongs to the ski benders, and finally getting some paint on it. This has taken forever. I don't know why. Partly because I procrastinate. Partly because other things have been going on. So I've got the first coat on this end, so I still need to do the sides, both sides, and I'm going to need a second coat, I'm already sure of that. So today's goal is to get this box completely painted. Inside, well, not inside. Inside we'll just leave alone because we don't care. We will do around the inside, right? This piece here, we'll do all that, and we'll get the bottom done. So anyway, I need this trailer put back together on Thursday because Friday I need to use it. So let's just get her done. I'll show you after I get some more painting done on it. Making some progress. It's about 11:30 a.m. and I've got 2 coats on this end, 2 coats on this side here. So those are done. Still need to do the other end and side, and then still need to do the bottom. This piece here has got a coat of primer on it in the pump house. This piece here has got a primer on both sides, so it's ready for black paint as soon as that dries. So look who we've got out here. Yeah, this is a black cat that doesn't belong to me. Kind of sort of belongs to my neighbor, not really. He just feeds it a little bit, but we feed it too and give it water. Anyway, this cat's finally starting to be a little friendlier towards me. It'll let me pet it now. See? It's kind of a happy kitty when I do that. It's still a little skittish, but you know what? Better than nothing. Anyway, so after about an hour, we'll get some black paint on these. The white paint on the other parts, we still have this lid to do. It's going to need some white paint on it as well. Anyway, the white paint has a primer built into it. And this paint here, this is a gray primer because the black, I couldn't find black with a primer built into it. So that's it.
It's still Monday around 11:30 a.m. I kind of shot myself in the foot. I should have plowed on Friday and or Saturday when I went snowmobiling instead. And even yesterday, I was just too lazy to get out there and do it. I actually spent all day yesterday working on the Snow Flyer newspaper. So, but anyway, things are really wet and heavy, and I should at least get this part of the driveway cleaned up. And if you come out here and you look at the shop, it's sliding off the shop roof, and I can already see some has dropped down onto the ground, which is going to be a real heavy mess down there. I'll probably need the tractor. This area out here I probably can do with the plow on the ATV, which we never found any pins for, so we need to put some bolts in there or something. So let's get to it. I found a couple of bolts that'll work just fine. There's the first one installed. There's the one I'm going to put on the other side. That'll work. Now I've only got it finger tight. Now the question is, how much vibrating will this do? Will it loosen it? I'll have to check it here pretty quick. I'm too lazy to get a couple wrenches and try and tighten them more. There's what it looks like down by the shop after 20 minutes worth of work or so. It actually is moving pretty good. I don't need to do it any better than that. Especially with the warmer temperatures, this stuff will all melt out. So now we got a spot to back the snowmobile trailer and white truck down in. We'll do that. Maybe there's enough room to get the green truck down in here, and then we'll do up the driveway and out front. What do you think? Half-assed job? Oh, I think given the conditions, it's pretty good. It's really slushy out here. That's okay. If temperature stays up, most of this will melt off today. Got down the driveway in front of the shop. I'm still losing snow off the shop. It's piling up in front, but it's not a lot, not yet. And I was able to get the first batch with the ATV. So we got everything done up here. I'll do a little shovel work around my car and where my wife parks. But overall, I'm happy considering I didn't do it for 3 days when I should have. So Let's get back to painting the tag-along trailer parts. I've got the first coat of semi-gloss black paint on the two pieces that need the black. This is one side, so it's going to need one more coat on this side. Flip it, 2 more coats. It says ultra cover. Yeah, it's not. It's just average. It'll need 2 coats. And then the box over there, I've got the first coat of white on the end and side that needed it, and on the bottom. So I'll need one more coat on those 3 areas, and then I still need to do the top area there. And I still need to do the lid, but I'm going to run out of paint. So I'll have to make a run to Home Depot probably later today or tomorrow morning or something. Anyway, we're making good progress. It's Monday afternoon and we're over here in the garage, and I've got my little propane heater running. What I need to do with the little tag along, I need to fix this piece of plastic there, and then I was going to paint the whole trailer, spray paint it black. So we need to get it warmed up and cleaned up. So we're going to just let that heater run for an hour or 2 and come back and check and see how warm it is down here and see what we can do. It's Tuesday morning around 9 a.m. Last night I got the final coat of paint on this, which basically was just painting this area right around the top there. So we're not worrying about the inside because, you know what, it's a work box, but the outside's looking good. 2 coats of white satin paint on it. The black pieces I've got this morning, I put the first coat on the second side on this one and the piece out in the pump house. So these just need one more coat of paint and then they're done. And then we'd work on the frame. But we still have the lid of this thing to do, so that's up next. But the problem is we ran out of paint. Well, we're almost out of white paint. So we're going to make a run to Home Depot and pick up some more. But look at the conditions. They're a bit treacherous this morning. In fact, local schools closed for the day. We had some freezing rain overnight. Things are slick, but I just walked up the path here and already it's starting to thaw out. And man, what a nice day it is today. So let's go get some paint. The temperature on the car thermometer here shows 32 degrees outside, and I'll say the road, she's a little greasy. Not bad. It's funny, you'd think I'm in the Midwest. When I was driving the other day, I swear I saw a snowmobile track on the side of the road. And I don't know if you can probably tell, but there's a track over there. It's like riding the ditches in the Midwest. It's kind of funny. You never see snowmobile tracks out in this town anywhere. Sometimes over on our street because a few people have them, but not down a main road like this. That's funny. I mean, we had enough snow to where it would have been a good way to travel a few days ago. It's kind of funny. I have studded tires for my wife's car. I have studded tires for my daughter's car. I even have a set of studded tires for Mom's old van. What I don't have studded tires for is my little Suzuki here. And this one gets a lot of miles put on. It ought to have a set of studded tires. But I'm just kind of too cheap to pick up another set of wheels and tires for it. Got paint. I don't remember when it was, but my family got me a couple of these LED lights to put up in my shop. You can see I've got a string of them here, but I need more over on that side of the shop. So they've just been sitting in a box down here. They came in that shipping box right there, and I thought there was one of them in there, and then that one there is a 4-foot, just a single bulb. And I opened it up, and there were actually 2 of them in there. Well, that's really cool, because over in the garage where we're going to be working today, there really just isn't enough light. So I'm going to just kind of lean these up against the wall or something and plug them in and give me some more light over there. But this is awesome that I have 2 of them. I've got a couple lights situated over there. Let's do a before and an after. All right, there's the before. And there's the after. All right, that has a lot of light. So what we need to be working on is this piece here. As you can see, it's all broken loose. It's got a rivet there, there, and there that have come loose. The piece is broken. Also, we've got some issues with the metal support structure there and there. I think our best course of action is going to be to remove this piece completely, which means I need to drill out all those rivets, and then we'll put it back with rivets later today or tomorrow after we make some other repairs to it. Does that sound reasonable? All right, let me get those drilled out and pull that off. bigger bit here. There's what we're working with. I think this is part of an old bed liner. I mean, in a perfect world, I'd replace it, but I don't have anything to replace it with. But I think if we just go ahead and put some fresh rivets in it, we'll be fine. And then we've got some issues here. Ideally, those should be put back in place and welded. And then I noticed, you see these supports here? I've got one there, but I'm missing one there and one there. So should I try and weld this back together? Probably. As I was trying to beat this back into shape, there was a rivet in here that was getting in the way, and that made me realize that I still have the remnants of all the other rivets. You can see them right there. So I'm gonna go ahead and finish drilling those out from the back side, get rid of them all. So I was racking my brain trying to figure out how I was going to get the ski pushed down. I don't know if you can tell or not, but the ski needs to go down a little bit to make it more flush along there. And I couldn't quite come up with a solution, and then it dawned on me. The Suzuki SX4 has a little baby scissor jack with it. So I grabbed that. That'll let me spread that a little bit. And then this one here kind of needs to go the other way, I think. I think the ski actually needs to come up a little bit. But I've got clamps that'll do that. So let's see what we can get it to look like here. I'm not saying I'd be an expert body and fender man. No, I wouldn't say that at all. But hey, I did get this all pounded back into shape. And in theory, I should be able to weld that up. And then you can see this area ripped out here. And this one ripped out here, which are these supports here. I'm sure I can scrounge up, even if I have to go to the local hardware store, some metal to replace those. So what do you think? Overall, I think it's looking pretty good. I still got right along here, I think I maybe want to beat on that a little bit to bring the shape back, although it's pretty good. I'll look at it and see. And here's a view from the top side. This one here is just about perfect. This one there is off a little bit, but if you look, those angles, I mean, this piece here is already bent towards the rear a little bit. The thing has taken some hits over the years. Those should be completely vertical. So that one too. So I think that's a good place for them. And after looking at this area a little bit more, I don't know, I'll just beat on a little bit, but I won't do much to it. Overall, I think we're in pretty good shape. A year or two ago, I bought this Harbor Freight titanium Flux 125 welder. It's just a flux core welder, works on 120 volts, and never taken out of the box. So let's take it out of the box and see if we can figure out how to use it. How's that one look? I spent quite a bit of time on it, and I filled in with some extra weld. And let me tell you, my welding sucks. You know, last time I welded was, 44 years ago? Thereabouts. I don't know, it's been a long time. So anyway, now we're moving on to that one over there, and I just started. My wrist is hurting from using the grinder, because you know what they say about a grinder makes anybody look like a good welder? Well, yeah. So anyway, we're still working on that one. We'll come back to that tomorrow and get that taken care of. But I'm pretty happy considering, you know, I'm just learning as I go here. So cool. Let's go up to the house and we'll come back tomorrow, which is Wednesday. Of course, it's still kind of a tight mess down here, but it's cold, so we need to fire that heater up and get some heat in here. Sometimes you just need to quit while you're ahead or behind. I was blowing some holes in it. Obviously, my skills are lacking, but hey, compared to what it was before, it looks a lot better. I don't know if it'll hold up or not. I'm going to flip it over and put a couple of welds in from the top And I need to do something about these areas here where it cracked out. Maybe get a little more weld in there and then grind them smooth so they're not a potential crack point. I'll work on it. Since I want to replace those legs that come in at an angle, I needed to find some metal. And what quickly appeared was this piece of angle iron. Not ideal, but after some work, and I mean a lot of work, I got it split down the center. And right now I've got some sharp edges on it. I'm going to take that over the grinder, take care of that, and then I need to cut it to length. I'll have to figure out what that's going to be. And then we'll do some more crappy welds. Looky there. I've got 2 pieces cut, ready to be welded in. And I even got them going at the angle that they're not supposed to be going at, but that's because the ski's bent a little bit. So I actually I cut a little angle at top and bottom to get it lined up right. So now let's see if we can weld it into place without creating a bunch of holes, more holes than we've already got. We're calling this side done. We had to fix this one, we had to fix this one, we had to add this one, and we had to add that one. And I'm not going to let you get any closer than that. You can critique the welds from there. They suck. That's fine. I'm new at this. But what we learned during all of this was that we have one broke on the other side too. So that means I'm going to end up taking off the plastic bed liner piece off of this one also, which the positive is to that is that when I paint it, it'll paint up nicer. But I wasn't wanting to do that. Now I'm just going to need a bunch more rivets. Probably have to run to the hardware store either today or tomorrow to do that. But I'm going to go ahead and pull that piece of plastic off there and make the repair to that one, and then we'll be done with this. There it is, fixed. Fixed mostly, fixed sort of, fixed good enough. Yeah, we'll call it good enough. The next thing I want to do is paint this. And I've got some black paint, and it's some pretty durable stuff. I'm not going to try and get all the rust off of it. I'm just going to wipe it down with alcohol and spray it, and we'll see how it turns out. Again, it'll be good enough. Got the heater running down here to keep it warm. I've got it all cleaned off. It's been blown off, and I did a little bit of scraping on it to make sure there's nothing loose. The paint I've got is this stuff right here. Can you read that? Smooth factory-like finish, appliance epoxy enamel. So we're going to make a mess down here because I'm not putting anything down. But the floor's already got some paint on it, and you know what? I just don't really care. So I'll show you when it's painted. It's about 9 o'clock on Wednesday night, and I've got this thing mostly painted. You can see some paint fumes in the air there. Yeah, I've been breathing this crap. Can't be good for you. Anyway, I've got everything painted except I need to flip this so it's resting on this side here, and then there's a few places on the bottom I'll need to get. Hopefully I'll get that done later tonight. It takes a while for this stuff to dry though, so hard to say. And then the other pieces, you could see them over there and there. Those are fully painted. So we're on track to put the thing back together tomorrow. I'm about a day behind schedule from what I would like to be, but that's all right. We'll get it done tomorrow. So I was looking, in order to put the plastic back on, I need 44 rivets. Looks to be about a 1/2 inch in length, and I don't remember what I came up with. 3/16 for the hole size. So I'll have to head to the hardware store tomorrow to pick those up. I need steel rivets. Those are just aluminum, but those won't hold up. So that's it for tonight. It's Thursday morning, and you know what time it is? It's finally time for reassembly. What we need to do is inventory for what we need. We need to make a run to the hardware store to get some parts, and then we'll come back and put this all together. So what are we going to need? We need rivets, so we can put the plastic ski skins back on. We want to get some steel rivets for that if possible. And then we have 2 black wooden pieces that need to be bolted down to the bottom. And I already bought the bolts, but I need some lock nuts, so I'll probably pick those up. And then the white box that has been painted and is up in the house. My wife will be happy that that leaves today. We're going to need to install it, and also going to bolt it down. It wasn't bolted down before. Oh, and one other thing, that piece there goes up along the back, and I need to replace the nuts and bolts for it. I have the nuts and bolts, but now that everything's nice and shiny-ish, we want to use something that looks better. and I didn't want to paint the old ones. So let's make a trip to the hardware store, and then let's get back and get started.
Just finished shopping at Helms to pick up the parts I need to reassemble the tag-along. The one problem is the rivets they had were aluminum rivets in the size I wanted, and I really want steel. I'm going to run over to Tractor Supply and see if they have them. It's not a deal breaker, but really would like to get steel rivets. It's a double win at Tractor Supply. Not only did they have the steel rivets I wanted, but they had reserve parking for veterans. All right, let's head home. All right, I'm not going home just yet. One stop at McDonald's to treat myself. I'm getting a Diet Coke and maybe a French fries. Don't tell my wife. I didn't show you guys that. That happened yesterday when I was working on the tag-along. I was swinging a baby sledgehammer and my thumb was wrapped around the handle and I missed what I was swinging at, and yep, there you go.
So the first one's done, and of course it was an effort. First of all, the riveter I was using didn't want to release the part that cuts off, and you know, I remembered that there'd been something wrong with one of my riveters. Now I remember what it is. So luckily the other one works. The reason I'm keeping that one around is because it lets you go in straight and not at a 90-degree angle. So I need to just go out and buy a new one, I guess. Actually what I need is an air riveter to do these steel rivets. And especially with my smashed finger, it isn't helping any. In fact, you probably saw when I hit it once, it just about sent me through the roof. So anyway, this was the easy one. That's 22 rivets. Now we're coming over to the one that's in multiple pieces, and we're going to do it. And we're going to add a few rivets to fix the pieces that are flopping. But we'll go ahead and use the holes that we can, and then we'll drill for the rest. And I'm just going to show you when I'm done. There's some areas here that there's just not a whole lot I can do. I wish I had a plastic welding kit. I almost bought one at Harbor Freight. Wonder if I could fix some of this a little bit. I don't know that I'm going to have this trailer after this event is over this weekend, If by chance I bring it home again, I may do some more work on it, but for now, let's just make it so it's not flopping around, and it'll be better than it was. The bottom, she's done. This side here, certainly not pretty, but we don't have anything flopping around. We had an extra rivet here. We put 2 rivets here in place of the one. Still got a little bit of looseness right there, but that's fine. This spot here, I added a rivet there, 2 rivets there. Certainly is better than it was. So let's flip this over and get the deck down. Looky, looky, the first board is down. Now we need to do the one across the back. That's this piece right there. And it only has 2 bolts holding right at the back. And I'll get that done and show you. That was easy. All right, I still have the upright that goes along the back, but I think I might want to wait until I put the box on it. I don't know if I can do that, but I do know that I need to put the tow bar on next. It's just held on with a couple of pins. And here are the pins, but that one's kind of dinged a little bit, so I may try and fix it. Better than it was, right? Both those will work. All right, let's get the tow bar on there. There it is. That went on pretty easy, actually. All right, let's get this down off of here and let's drag it up to the front of the house to where the box is. Whoops, we trade a little paint here. Either that'll scrub off or I'll put another coat of black paint on that. Alright, next thing we need to do is put the back piece on there and get that all bolted in place. And I bought some new hardware for that. Actually bought some stainless steel stuff because that'll show. That there probably should have been stainless, but I didn't feel like spending the money on it. The box is on, and I'm pretty happy with that placement right there. I think I'm going to go ahead and drill 4 holes down to secure the box to the bottom. They won't be the easiest to remove, but they'll be removable. So if somebody wants to position it somewhere else, they're free to. But I think this is kind of the best thing. At first I brought it all the way up even, and then I realized that if I put it back just a little bit, then the handle would stay upright. And then we've got a little bit of room back here if somebody wants to tuck something down in there. Because at first I was going to keep it pretty tight to this so a person could hold on to this. But then I thought, let's move it up as far as we can. So is this a perfect location for it? I don't know. But that's where I'm going to put it. So I put in 4 bolts, 2 at the front, 2 at the back. And I spaced them differently so it'd be easier to figure out which end is which. And then I used a pair of vice grips to hold the top of the bolt while I tighten it from the bottom. Unfortunately, these are a Phillips head, so the next person that comes along, he's going to have to just about have to have 2 people, unless they can get a pair of vice grips on them. We'll see. There's probably no reason this needs to ever come off here, though, so that'll be good. So with that, I'd say we're pretty much done. All right, folks, done deal. Here's the dog whining in the background. She wants her treats. Anyway, it's all painted, put back together, fixed. And I put a little bit of reflective stuff on the back of it and down the side. So that's it. Now we just need to get it loaded up in the snowmobile trailer, do some rearranging in there, and be ready to go. And just think how happy my wife is going to be to have this out of the house. Can't say I blame her.
That's a wrap on this week's Procrastination Garage. Hope you guys enjoyed.
Hey, so be sure to hit the subscribe button. Like this video if you haven't already.
And be sure to check back next week. Remember, my name is Matt. This is Procrastination Garage. And this is Ryan, my daughter. We'll see ya.
Tell your friends.